Bankruptcy storm, retail apocalypse, an avalanche of business closures. Hey everybody, JJ here, Bull Boom Bear Bust. It is Thursday, July 9th, 2020. Back for another dose of economic reality. Let's get into it. Recent Forbes article highlights this very nicely. So far in 2020, over 9,000 stores have closed, a lot of them being bankrupt businesses. Now, we told you last year and the year before last year that the retail apocalypse was likely to get worse. Now, nobody predicted that it would be to this magnitude, to this level with the shutdown, recession/depression. But the point I want to make on this, and we're going to talk about which stores, but the point I want to make, there's still a lot of people that believe this narrative that there's going to be some sort of V-shaped recovery, right? These are permanent job losses. Where are all these people that worked at these bankrupt businesses? Where are they going to get jobs at? Where are they going to go besides just the unemployment line and getting a government check, right? So a V-shaped recovery, they may be able to manipulate the stock market, and that pattern, when you look at the stock prices, that could look like a V, but the overall economies, there's no way there's going to be a V-shaped recovery. Right, now some people make the argument that if the government sends out enough checks that you could still keep this propped up, because in reality, a lot of these jobs were meaningless jobs anyway. People typing on cash registers, people stocking shelves with a lot of meaningless products, that people were buying. So these people make the argument that, well, just because the government's sending out the money to the people instead of being paid directly from the businesses, it's still money. And my view has always been, well, if you have less and less products being purchased, if you have supply chain disruptions, but still people are given all this money to spend, and of course they're not getting enough money because the government's just sending out very small amounts to people, to individuals, versus the amounts that they send out to the corporations. We've seen all-time records set in corporate welfare under this current administration, but most of the bottom 99%, as long as they get their Starbucks, as long as they can watch their Netflix, then they're going to be happy. There's not going to be any arguments. But I digress. Let's get into the list of store closures. This is out of the same Forbes article right here. Here is a partial list of some of these closings in bankruptcies. Brooks Brothers, 51 stores, bankruptcy. Chuck E. Cheese, 54 locations, bankruptcy. Destination Maternity, 90 stores, bankruptcy. GNC, 1,200 stores, bankruptcy. J. Crew, 54 stores, bankruptcy. JCPenney, 154 stores, bankruptcy. Kmart, 45 stores, bankruptcy. Models Sporting Goods, 153 stores, bankruptcy. Neiman Marcus, 20 stores, bankruptcy. Papyrus, 254 stores, bankruptcy. Pier 1 Imports, 936 stores, bankruptcy. Sears, 51 stores, bankruptcy. Stage Stores, 738 stores, bankruptcy. Sur La Table, 51 stores, bankruptcy. Tuesday Morning, 230 stores, bankruptcy. Many non-bankruptcy store closures. Art Van Furniture, 190 stores. AT&T, 250 stores. Bath and Body Works, 50 stores. On and on and on. We'll link to that article. Now, some of you may be saying, hey, JJ, it's not that bad because a lot of the people are just buying off online right now. And that's why you see a lot of the store closures, because more people are going to Amazon. Yes, that's partially true. Well, it is true that more people are going to Amazon. But look at the bigger picture. Look at all of the job losses. And how is an economy here in the United States that's 70% consumer-based, consumer spending, how is an economy going to function or have a V-shaped recovery when there's so many millions of job losses, jobs that are not going to be coming back? Now, let's say it was just all because of Amazon and online shopping. Amazon can sell a lot more products with a lot less staff. And if you've ever seen an Amazon warehouse, you know that there's a lot of robotics in those warehouses, at those warehouse locations, right? So it's definitely not a one-to-one ratio. For every job lost at a brick and mortar store is a job gained in Amazon. It's not like that. And I am a believer that the unemployment number is never going to recover to where it was prior to the shutdown recession, 3.5%. I don't think we're ever going to see that again unless the government recalculates how they factor unemployment. Who knows, maybe they'll adjust it to where if a person sells one item on eBay, that'll be considered a full-time job. It sounds crazy, but you never know with the government, the way they calculate things. For example, they're already counting people as employed working part-time, people in the gig economy, and people that are out of the labor force for just a few weeks do not get counted as unemployed now. So with all these statistical games that are played, all those maneuvers, you never know what's going to happen. But I doubt seriously that we're ever going to see 3.5% unemployment again. Right? So these store closures could very well get up to 2,000 before the end of the year. We're just over halfway through the year. We're already at 9,200. So we could see double the number that we saw in the retail apocalypse 2019 and 2018, which was both of those years were less than 1,000 stores. And we're just halfway through the year, so hold on to your horses because this could get a lot worse. And this shutdown recession could easily be turned into a depression. Now, I've argued that it is already a depression. The only thing that makes it look like it's not a depression is the government life support. It is the drugs that are being pumped into the patient. But when the life support is pulled away, and it will get pulled away, you're going to see a massive wealth transfer, probably like we've never seen in the history of the United States. And you're going to have the investors, the billionaires in the world who are sitting on large sums of cash right now, people like Warren Buffett, I believe it's close to $200 billion now, waiting to swoop in and buy assets for pennies on the dollar. And I continue to believe that this economic meltdown is going to get far worse than what anyone expects. The United States, we are a bankrupt country. There's no way we can pay off this debt. Okay, the food lines are going to get longer again. The tent cities, the homelessness problem is going to get a lot worse. We did some reports on the massive food line just a few days ago in Riverside. There's that video right there if you're interested in checking that out, where I actually show the line of cars, about 2-mile long line of people on the 4th of July waiting for food. Another report a couple weeks ago, homelessness projected to skyrocket when this government life support is pulled away, when this stimulus IV gets pulled away, when the extra unemployment benefits runs out. When they decide to pull the rug out from under this thing, it's going to be unlike anything we've ever seen, because now we have so many people dependent versus independent. We celebrate the 4th of July as Independence Day. It should be called Dependence Day, because that's the new America. Most people are dependent on some sort of government handout or paycheck. And if you think the government's going to be able to save you, well, I would advise you to think again. And I really don't want to see people going homeless or unprepared for this. Here's a recent report here, the Mercury News. Unemployment in California, jobless claims backlogs. 2 million claims are unpaid during the shutdown. 2 million people just in California who are still not able to get their unemployment checks. Right? These could be the people that we see on the streets lining up in these tent cities. There's a few different channels here on YouTube that really report excellent information about the homelessness epidemic. I touch on it on this channel from time to time. But if you've been looking around any large city, I look at San Diego, LA, Riverside, I do see major increases in homelessness. And the Fed, they're going to continue printing money. The government spending is going to continue to explode. And take a look at this chart right here. This is the annual budget deficit. And to put this chart into perspective for you, the June budget deficit last month was $863 billion. And that is a over 100 times increase compared to the $8 billion deficit from June of last year. And this number doesn't even count the over 100 trillion in off-balance sheet obligations. Those are unfunded obligations, unfunded liabilities. I continue to believe that we're headed for the bankruptcy of the United States, an economic reset, if you will. And I believe that the man sitting in the White House right now, he is an expert on bankruptcy. He went through multiple bankruptcies. I don't think it's an accident that he was put in there. I think a lot of the left versus right drama that we're seeing right now is all staged, probably 100% staged. But I do believe that there is a operation in place to get people divided and believing that there's a left versus right situation happening right now. And I think it's all a distraction so the average person can fight against their neighbor or fight against somebody in the other group. You know, we see all this left versus right, this person versus that person, this party versus that party. In the meantime, the financial system's absolutely failed. And most people, I'd say 99.9% of the people have no idea what's about to happen. But I hope you are prepared. I hope you are ready. I hope you have a backup plan, a plan B. Many people are going to have to look for alternate living facilities, maybe move in with a relative, maybe have relatives move in with you. You're going to see a lot more cars parked in people's driveways. I think there's going to be a lot more people buying sheds and granny flats built in backyards to house relatives. And this is really the time to hunker down, be prepared, have a backup plan, a plan B that includes getting yourself some hard assets. Link down below if you'd like to go to SD Bullion. It does help out the channel. I'm buying a little bit of silver each month. Sometimes it's just $50 or $60 worth, sometimes more depending on how much money I have. Thank you to everyone that helps this channel via Patreon, your support. Thank you for just being here, for watching the videos, for liking, for commenting. Check out comments below. A lot of people have excellent information down there. I'm only able to provide you limited information. Of course, I can't hit every detail in every video, so please check down below. A lot of smart people down there who are also preparing, and they know the writing is on the wall. This is only a matter of time, and I expect 6 months to a year before the real pain is really felt and really seen. Right now, it is just being masked by all this intervention, and when it collapses, look out, because it's going to be worse than the Great Depression. And I just hope everyone stays well, stay prepared, stay safe. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.